I could pull a better podcast out of my head. Hey, kids, welcome to the Tempest Universe.
2022 is upon us, and the views expressed on this podcast are that of the host, and not of the citizens of Wuhan. Alien abductions are down and government meddling is on the rise. The UFO talk is explicit, so let's get the mind probe started.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
I don't know. It feels like that intro track is a cross between Star Trek and Superman for some reason. I don't know why it is. This is the Tempest Universe, and I am live today. And initially, I figured I wasn't going to be live on again until after the holidays, but for some reason, I decided, why not? Why not be live? You know, Christmas is done with. Over and gone. It came in as quick as it came in. It quickly left again, and now we're headed towards New Year's. Looking forward to some madness in the new year, but I feel like shit's gonna hit the fan before 2021 ends. Really, we've got the Russians going after the Ukraine. We've got Israel lobbing missiles over to Syria. There's a story about Kim Jong-un and in North Korea and what the hell they're doing. It's nuts. It really is nuts. And of course we got that evil transformer Omicron trying to take over all the hospitals. I don't know. We're going to end this year in the bang. I feel it. Now the good thing is that that crazy ass James Webb super telescope actually made it into space. If you're interested in tracking the damn thing, you can actually go on YouTube, and there's a bunch of sites tracking its distance and all these little milestones it has to go through. Like I think a few hours ago, it actually released its antenna, so now I could get some signals from the probe masters here at NASA. And I think that in the next day or two, the sun shield is supposed to be coming out. You know, unfurling, if you will, like a big peacock in space. That's what's happening. So if you guys missed it, I actually didn't see the takeoff. I don't know what the hell was happening. You know, could have been Fluhan, because over here we had the Fluhan disease, not Wuhan. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on if we get to see this thing open entirely. I don't know if you can actually see it from any of the telescopes on the ground, but I can imagine that this is going to look magnificent for the next alien that comes by. I can tell you that much. So go ahead and track your space web in space, and let's see what kind of great imagery. I like it totally to get this thing completely set up and started and charged and ready to go. It's going to take 6 months altogether. So I don't know. Is it worth tracking it for 6 months? Probably not. Other shit's going to go down. I guarantee you. Like some of the stuff we're going to talk about on this episode. I feel like I've been away like a whole month from the podcast. Now, some of you will be glad to know that because Christmas is over, there's no Christmas music. But now you'll have other music to complain about, because that's just the way it is. Kind of like this song right here.
I really wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Listen to me as I slow it down. Dreams still yours if you want it. See the somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Listen to me as I say. Tell yours if you want. You're right, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. Slow it down. Tell yours if you want. You're right, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
You know, we have a few interesting articles for today. This one is not one of them. I'm gonna be honest with you, but there's a point to this article, and that is that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. This is the issue with ufology and things like that. This was actually posted by the New York Post, no pun intended, back on December 22nd. So there's these brothers who like to go into their backyard and, you know, do some stargazing. You know, we say it all the time. Look up. Take some goddamn time and look up at the sky and see what you see. So these guys were out there, and actually this happened to them on October 21st. And they were using their iPhone 10. I don't use Apple products. I've got to admit that right now. So I have no idea really how strong these cameras are on the iPhones. But they caught something really strange. And so they went to social media and posted it. You know, that's mistake number one. You don't want to go to social media and post stuff like this or go to Reddit, because there will tear you 2 and 3 new ones. Like, you will have so many holes. You have no idea where your excrement's going to come out through the next time you go, drop a deuce. So these guys were out there in the backyard, and they said that they spotted a bizarre tube-shaped UFO that was hovering over their garden. If you look at the image for this episode, that is a zoomed-in image of the full photo, right? So you have to go to the article to see the full photo so that you can see this tube-shaped UFO is what they called it. But what you're looking at on the episode image is it's zoomed in. So a lot of people were saying, you know, you guys are stupid up there. Hey, yes, New York and everything. What they're saying is that this thing is really a picture that was taken with the settings on the camera so that they can actually see stars at night, basically. And so what the people are trying to say is the way you had your camera setting in night mode, what happens is that it leaves the shutter open a little longer, so what you see, it might just be an airplane going by with 2 lights on each side and a red light in the middle flashing. And so because the shutter's on so long, you see the streak of lights as it goes through, and the bright spots is where it actually flashes. This is great. And, you know, I just love that so many people are so talented when it comes to iPhone 10s and camera settings. But fuck, I'm not that talented. Everything for me is on auto. Whatever the auto setting is, let it figure it out at its own damn self. I ain't got time for that. But these guys were out there with a purpose, and they caught this image, which initially, this is what I thought. I thought, well, these Reddit people are correct. And by the way, the individual's Reddit name, if you want to look them up on Reddit, is Massacre YKS. I have no idea what the hell YKS is, yelling, kicking, and screaming, who knows. But according to YKS, they stargaze, and they like to take amateur pictures of the sky. And they call this UFO. Now, the one person has said about the extended exposure that was done by the camera, I've seen that. We've all seen that in pictures, especially like on highways, where people take these long exposure pictures. You see streaks of the white and red lights on the highway of the cars. But what the issue is, honestly, is that there's no red and green lights. If you look at navigation lights, they're red and green. I don't think there's many planes out there that do not have red and green lights for their nav lights, which hang at the end of their wings. So this is really strange. You can even see the red and green lights. Sometimes they put them on damn drones too. Those lights are missing. So it makes no sense from what we're looking at that this is a long exposure from an open shutter on their iPhone 10 that took a picture of an airplane. That just makes no sense to me. So, still a mystery? Yeah. Now, is it possible that there are some airplanes out there that don't have the nav lights? I don't know. I think that would be a hot mess if they ran around flying without the nav lights on. So, who knows? Who knows where this is going to lead? But, they pretty much shut down their little picture there and said it was all a bunch of nonsense, and it was basically them trying to take pictures on this setting at night of the stars that created the image of a UFO. I'm not totally sold on it. If someone could tell me what the fuck happened to those red and green lights, then I'll be in it. I'll be in it to win it 100% of the way. And Massacre, you'd be wrong, but there's still a bit of doubt. But it goes back to the original point. People go and report UFO sightings, and so they try to do things based on their word and their experience, and they'll post it to MUFON, they'll post it to New Fork, and then people are saying, where's the picture? Why didn't you take a picture? Everybody has a damn phone these days. Why there's no pictures? And now we get a picture, and we're still ramming them without the Vaseline. I just don't get it. It's just unbelievable. You really can't satisfy anybody these days. So, I mean, if you look at the full picture in the article, this pretty much remains something as one would say, unexplained aerial phenomena, because I have no idea what the hell it is. And again, without there being those red and green lights, who knows what the hell this is? It's crazy. But check it out. Check out the link in the description. If anything, just look at the full picture of this UFO, UAP, and it's fascinating. It really is. But, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Let's go to work, 'cause I'm tripping. Gotta work on myself, 'cause I'm falling apart. Please wake me up, 'cause I'm slipping. Can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above the door. Meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. So sweet again. Blow go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again.
Not recently, shit, like 2.5 weeks ago, I sent the package to Australia, and I just, by the way, I was gonna stop saying the F word. So, thanks to USPS, it took 2 weeks to get it from Texas to California. I don't understand. How the hell does any package take 2 weeks to go from Texas to California? And I actually spent, I wouldn't say about 2-3 days just sitting there for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I like to traffic space weed. And, I think it's on its way over there. I don't know. So, if you are expecting a package from Texas down under, hey, it might be under an Omicron lockdown, probably. Who knows? Because, down in Australia, they get really nervous about the COVIDs. For sure, but who can blame him? It's just freaking crazy these days. Here's a great article. We don't hear about this place very much, but man, it's up there as one of the wildest conspiracy theories one could ever have in ufology. And that's Dulce, New Mexico. The article is in the sun.com. It actually says the Sun US in some places. But it's the article title, "We live in the shadow of the top secret U.S. mountain base. We see UFOs all the time and aliens take our cattle." I thought that shit was done with. I thought aliens were done with cattle. How long do you have to mutilate a cattle over the decades, over time, to figure the shit out? Like, why would they still be mutilating cattle? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. How dumb are aliens to continue to need to mutilate cattle? It's ridiculous. This claim is coming from a town of about 3,000 people that is home to the Jacarilla Apache Nation headquarters. And these guys have witnessed it all. And they say that it's there. Dulce actually exists. Now, for decades, they have been claiming, these 3,000 people, that they've heard crazy noises, seen lights coming from the Archuleta Mesa Mountain. Some of them have said they've been abducted and taken to a secret alien lair within the Archuleta Mesa. Why? Why? Listen, if you're down near Dulce and you're being abducted, you need to protest. You don't go quietly. Don't just lay there on that table waiting for your probing. You need to ask some questions. You need to know what the fuck is going on. Why is it that you guys are still abducting people? It makes what? What? Is your science that bad? Are you so far from home like Spider-Man that you can't freaking get it right? It's nuts. Now, this article is actually an interview that was done with a former reservation police detective, Avery Tafoya. And he says, listen, everybody in Dulce knows pretty much about it. We all realize it is there. There is an interest, of course, right? So we're talking to folks from Dulce. People from Dulce are reaching out because the world is into UFOs now, UAPs. So now it's like, all right, let's just bring it all out. Let's just bring it all out to bear. There's actually going to be a UFO conference in Dulce for those of you who are ready to get back into the circuit of conferences. It's going to happen June 17th to the 19th. And they're going to let it all out. They're going to tell their tale about what's been happening around Dulce. By the way, for you guys who don't know, it's Dulce, New Mexico. I know. Sometimes I know we get listeners from all over the place. So Dulce, New Mexico, United States. I mean, just look it up. You'll find it. It is a hotbed of conspiracy. The idea here is that what's under the Archuleta Mountains is a joint base for military and extraterrestrials. That's where they hang out and do their thing. According to Tafoya, he says that he's heard tons of stories about people hearing machinery all the way up on the surface of the mountain, but there's no machinery there. Nowhere. He believes that this is coming from under the mountain because there's several levels of this alien base where people go hang out. They might even have a Starbucks for all we know. The Archuleta Mesa is about 10,000 feet. So it's no small place. Could you hide a alien base there with several levels under it? We've heard the stories of all the crazy stuff that might have happened there, allegedly, supposedly. There's one story out here that an elder was part of a documentary, and she told a story about an encounter she had near the Archuleta Mesa back in 1986. According to her, she was driving with her husband, and they both saw an extremely bright light with a dome on top. AKA possibly a saucer? Maybe. She says that her husband looked at her, and right away, he says, "Get in the truck." So she jumped in. The problem was when they went to start the engine, it started and then it failed. At the very moment, she noticed that two small people started climbing down the ladder from this alleged UFO. For some reason, out of pure luck, I guess, the engine for their truck started back up, and the little beings went back into the UFO and headed towards an opening in the Archuleta Mountain, the Mesa. But that wasn't the end of it, because you saw them. Do you think they're going to let you go? Apparently later that night, she woke up, and in her room was two small people. They were watching her from the end of her bed, and as she was waking up, they started to pull her off her bed. She said she was so frightened she couldn't scream, but she was holding on to the mattress for dear life. She was not going to let go. At that moment, while the struggle was happening, her husband woke up, and then they decided to split. They left. So the efforts of these little aliens out of the Dulce, New Mexico base were thwarted by a husband who was probably snoring his ass off. Anyways, I'm sure they were scared of him. But according to the article, 6 years prior to her event, May 4th, 1980, there was an actual abduction that took place and is being reported as part of a documentary. Listen, the To me, it's one thing if you've got someone going in there saying, I've had these bouts with aliens, but I have no idea where they came from. They took me in the base, then they kicked me out, but I don't know what's going on. But when you have a town, especially a small town, not a big town, pretty small town, native people, who, in actuality, when you hear most native tribes speak about aliens or what we consider ETs in the Western societies, normally they're all really friendly. The sky people come down and they sit down, they took on some, peyote, and then they leave. You really don't hear too many of the stories of Native American people reporting that they're being abducted by aliens and that their cattle's being mutilated. This is the kind of stuff you read in here. And there's cattle mutilation stories in the article. And Avery Tafoya, the former police detective, he's really informative. But he's making it, I don't know, he's taking it as something he needs to do. And that's find a way into the Dulce, New Mexico base. This guy's going to fucking disappear, I'm telling you. We will never see him again. He does recount that he did try to climb the side of the mountain. Now, the mountain itself cannot be, because it's sacred land, you have to be part of the tribe in order to have access to it. Isn't that like a pretty nice way of setting up basically a secret military base? Because no one else is going to go there. But you have to be part of the tribe to get onto the mountain. And there is a story here where he attempted to scale the mountain with someone else. But unfortunately, there was a bit of ice and snow in the area. And it got extremely too dangerous for him to continue up the side. So he decided to pretty much try another time. So He's getting plans together to go back up there and try to find an entrance into the mountain. I mean, it's been so many years since the first stories came out of Dulce, New Mexico. Can he really find that mountain? Who knows? But I guarantee you it will not be an easy task. But apparently he's determined. He's determined to find the entrance and prove that the Dulce, New Mexico base actually exists. I don't think anyone that goes into any entrance there is ever going to come out. Sadly enough, so he might reconsider his plans for trying to solve that mystery because it sounds really dangerous. There's more to the article and other things that are happening in Dulce, New Mexico, especially the plans for the June 17th conference regarding the base. And I'm telling you, that is probably the place you want to be if you really want to learn about Dulce, because those 3,000 folks probably have tons of stories to share, and you'll be able to hear them firsthand. Check this out.
You think you know me? Say I'm as cold-hearted as they come. You think I'm slowly cutting my ties with you, that I'm done. Here's what you don't know. Feelings, they grow slow. I've just been caring for mine. Now I can feel it. Now I believe it. Baby, tonight is the night. I'm gonna call you up in the name of love. Gonna call you up and tell you that I'm as cold-hearted as they come. You think I'm slowly, no, 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 cutting my ties with you that I'm done. But I'm not done with you. But I'm not done with you. I'm gonna call you up in the name of love. Gonna call you up and tell you that I'm not giving up in the name of love. I'm not giving up yet on you. In the name of love, in the name of love. In the name of love, in the name of love.
By the way, Ronnie Dawson apparently may possibly be a guest at the Edinburgh, Texas UFO conference in 2022. There isn't a date for it yet, so it usually happens in early spring, sometime around like March, April, around there. So we're looking forward to see if Ronnie Dawson is going to make the bill and be one of the presenters. So it'll be interesting. If he is, shoot, definitely we'll have to meet up with Ronnie. And anybody who's in Texas, in that part of the gigantic state, you should go down there and check it out because, you know, Ronnie's quite entertaining. And if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you know that firsthand. Our boy Elon is back in the news. Here's a couple of things I didn't cover today. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But it turns out, so they're trying to get another SpaceX launch site down in Cape Canaveral and, Kennedy Space Center. Yeah, Cape Canaveral. But environmental people are shitting on that too. It's like all the environmental people in the world are getting together to stop SpaceX every way they can. And like this is the NASA site. Like we've been shooting off rockets from there for decades. But now that SpaceX wants to put a launch pad there, now we got problems. Now we got to save the birds. Literally, that's what they're saying. There's a sanctuary for fucking birds near where the planned site would be. Okay, so now they're saying no. There's an issue. Even the Audubon stepped in on this one. I don't understand. I mean, really, can they move somewhere else? That's really what needs to happen. We need to move other fucking birds. I don't know how I'm not going to say the F word on the podcast anymore. It's really difficult. I promise you. But anyway, let's get away from that. That's another piece of news. What we're covering today is that China now has a problem with SpaceX too. Apparently, their funky little space station they're putting together had 2 near collisions with the Starlink satellites. Like, I mean, literally, he's got no friends. No friends at all. So China's pissed off, and they went to the United Nations to complain that they had to take evasive action to avoid being, destroyed by the little Starlink satellites. Like, really, I don't know. How many Starlink satellites can take down the China space station? I don't know what it is, really. But they had to move. They had to move the hell out the way. This happened in July and in October. And according to China and folks, the satellites drifted a little bit too close to the space station and pretty much putting the life at risk of whoever the hell is up there. We don't know who's up there. Like, nobody knows. The shit's probably empty for all we know. So China decided to send a note to the United Nations Space Agency this month to say, hey, for safety reasons, the China space station implemented preventive collision avoidance control. We had to move the fuck out the way, he said, because it was getting crazy up there. China has actually asked the UN to remind nations that have signed the international agreement called the Outer Space Treaty, which includes the United States, of course, and China, that they are responsible for national activities in outer space, whether those activities are done by the government or by non-governmental agencies. So basically, SpaceX, right? Now, let's be honest. What can you do? Why is your space station so damn low? Move that shit up. You were able to avoid the Starlink. Move your damn freaking space station. Come on. Stop screwing around. Really. But you play nice. China. Play nice. I know everybody's against you. But move the shit up. The Chinese media apparently said that the incidents goes with SpaceX could be attempting to test China's sensibility in space. We've been talking about the war in space for some time now, almost like 2 years now. Because every time either Russia or China makes a move, there's always that threat that things are going to go too far. And here's another one. Now, do I think that Elon and SpaceX did that on purpose? Probably not. I think the Chinese need to move their shit. That's basically what needs to happen. And the other thing, too, is that Elon Musk was actually, at one point, I would say it was a few years ago, asked about the issue with China and Russia and things like that. And somebody asked him, what do you think would happen if one of the Starlinks, or, 40 of them, collided or made another country like China feel threatened? And he pretty much said they'd probably destroy the Starlink satellites. I mean, what is he going to do, right? I don't think you can start a war just because China took out like 50 Starlinks. Probably not. I'm sure he could just replace it just as easily as they destroy them. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Starlink continues to, I don't know, not even Starlink. If Elon continues to step on everybody's toes, apparently. Because now he's even got, Elizabeth Warren. Now she's after him for taxes. What the hell? I don't know. I don't know how he keeps all this stuff together. It's probably why he sold all his houses and got divorced. Because he needs to focus on the real stuff. That's the Elon news for today. We got one more to go. And this one goes all the way to the Vatican. Maybe. We'll see. You know, for decades, even longer than most of the people listening to the podcast, and actually myself, have been alive, you know, we've heard from the government that we don't, hold on a second. Hello? We don't investigate UFOs. No, we don't know nothing about no aliens. No, we don't do none of that. All right, we'll throw a project together just to tell you you're stupid. This is what happened, right? This is what kept on happening. Then we find out the whole ATIP thing, and, you know, thanks to the Stars Academy, if that even really exists anymore. And, yeah. So I guess they were at one point, right? They were looking into it. And I'm sure there were other times they were looking into it that they didn't tell us because no one went in there and stole videotapes. But then you wonder, well, I mean, if the Department of Defense was doing it, why? Is there someone else? Here's one group that historically has always denied the whole UFO alien conversation. Like they really hope for just amoebas on a different planet in our solar system. And even then, they will consider that to be a passenger from one of their vehicles first before admitting that possibly could have been an amoeba on Mars. NASA, apparently back in 2014, was trying to figure out how people would react if alien life really existed on other planets. But not just people, just regular old people, but people who follow religion. Theologians at the Center for Theological Inquiry, or CTI, in Princeton, New Jersey, apparently had that question thrown at them by NASA. This is going to be revealed in a book that's coming out next year by Reverend Dr. Andrew Davison. He holds a doctorate in biochemistry from Oxford, and he's actually one of the 24 theologians enlisted to help with the project. Fascinating. The name of the book is Astrobiology and Christian Doctrine, and this is completely nuts. Here we go, the constant denial of even thinking about it. Nobody thinks about aliens in NASA. No, it wasn't until this year that NASA wanted to be a bit more open about it. Do some more research, if you will. But apparently it wasn't just this year. This goes back to 2014. NASA awarded CTI $1.1 million in a grant to study worshippers' interest in and openness to scientific inquiry. The name of the study is Societal Implications of Astrobiology. Oh, man, this is just nuts. This is crazy. According to the results, preliminary results, right? We haven't read the book. The study's not out yet, whatever it is. It appears that the conclusion for Reverend Davison's study that he took part of is that people would turn to their religions, traditions, for guidance if extraterrestrials were found. But how would they turn? Really, what's the tradition there? Where's the guidance? Like, I don't know anywhere in the Bible where you go like chapter 15, how to handle ET. I don't know. Is it in the Quran? I have no idea. It is very strange that the conclusion is that they would actually look to their religions who really don't acknowledge any other planet in the damn universe. They don't acknowledge that. We are the center of everything, according to many Christians out there. There's nothing in space. Nothing. It is crazy. that NASA put this together back in 2014. We're hearing about this now. Why? Because everybody wants to talk aliens now. This is what, we're going to go on 8 years since these guys received this $1 million, and now is it that we're going to hear the results. I feel like, Reverend Dr. Andrew Davison, he may put a real boring book together, but I feel like this is our book contest for next year. How will you and your religion handle ET? That's been quite a long, age-long question, right? Because according to many folks back in the day, people will lose their damn minds. They will lose any belief in religion. But according to this, that's not the case. The case is that they will fall back to their religion for guidance instead of losing their damn minds and jumping off of skyscrapers or, spending all their money in the casino or going to, some place where they could do naughty stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see what the study from CTI and NASA has to say for us. I imagine that this is going to be a big deal next year. And that's why they're talking about this book right now. Because next year, I think we're poised to get a little closer to some truth. And people are going to have that question. Are we going to lose our minds? Are we going to go batshit crazy? Are we just going to lose our religion and there's going to be a global upheaval of madness? Doesn't sound like there is, but I never thought there would be. But others do. Others really firmly believe people are going to lose their damn minds and go batshit crazy. We'll have to find out. I don't know. Where do you stand? Are you going to lose your damn mind? Are you going to sell all your real estate, your holdings, find yourself some ladies of the night and just forget about your religion? Who knows? But I think this is our next book contest. Unless something better comes out, actually, you know what? There is another book coming out by Lua Elizondo. I believe that comes out next year. So that should be interesting too. We'll see. I feel like a book is in the making to be sent out to some lucky listener. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate you guys listening. This is the end of the pod. I'm checking out. I'm trying to figure out if I have enough time in the calendar to get another episode done on Wednesday. I'm shooting at 75% yes, but we'll see. We're still in the holidays here. Hope you guys had a great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you are working already from your place of business, enjoy your extended break listening to the podcast on the shitter. Ciao.
Watching you undress.
I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. Yeah. So lost, where do I go? I was in the chase, caught a flat on road. It was all love, X no O. I was feeling rich, but we turned out broke. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. I can't believe that it was real. It was back in late December when I did it. I just wish I could forgive. Cause I hate how much I love it. Oh, I hate how I just love to catch a feel. Yeah. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. If I find a way to get it, when I do it, I can live it and forget it. Cause I hate how much I love you, or I hate how you just put me in my feelings.
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the money?
Fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and